probably gonna get a lot of shit for this.
He's looking out the window at the house like
it's like we're live. Welcome to this week's episode of Catching Hell, the podcast. I'm Aaron, your host, with Phil.
Hello.
And Robert.
Good morning.
And we're gonna have a guest this week, but he got stuck doing some home repairs. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, I'm doing home repairs and I'm still here.
I know. The worst part is he can't even listen to us talk shit about him.
He doesn't know how to yet.
No.
Doesn't know how to work a smartphone.
No.
Got to use his wife's Facebook to spy on all of us. So it's just us three. We're going to... I don't know what we're going to get into today. We've got all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, we talked about...
supposedly on the back burner.
Yeah, just kind of doing a recap of, our last few guests we've had on episodes. The last one was pretty awesome with Ryan. That was cool. I feel like that one... I was surprised when I saw how long it ended up being because it didn't feel that long. Mm-hmm. So that's the sign of, A, good show, B, a good guest. I'm kind of, anxious to get him back on again, especially with Robert with us because I think, Robert, you said it, the way he talks and kind of articulates himself is, it's easy to have a conversation flow with.
For sure. So, great guy.
Yeah.
Whole family.
Mm-hmm.
And, and we didn't really tap into a lot of different stuff that he's involved with. We didn't really tap into, I wanted to get a parent's perspective from a youth sports side of things. Honestly, because that's almost where the friendship started with us. And I think that's a topic that we're going to get into with our next guest, just because of how heavily involved we are with that.
Right.
But I do want to set up some story time with him. That's probably what that episode's going to be called, just story time with Tommy.
Yes. It could be a recurring segment.
Yeah, skit.
So I don't know what's
our
going
wife
on.
said that last night after I picked them up from the bar, half cocked, that the one with Ryan was our best podcast yet, our best serious podcast yet.
Yeah, that was. Courtney texted me that right away when she started listening to it. She didn't listen to it when it released. I think she listened to it like Wednesday or Thursday. But she said this is hands down her favorite one. And we did touch on some serious topics that I think a lot of people are uncomfortable to talk about. So,
especially in this day and age.
Yeah, and from his perspective, to where all it takes is, one thought to be projected the wrong way could put him in a world of trouble, professionally and personally. So I thought it was really cool for him to come on and do that.
Yes, he will be back.
How was your evening last night? I'm just curious.
Mine?
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah? Normal?
Yeah.
How was yours, Aaron?
She fell asleep and I watched Ozark.
So last night was funny because from the minute I picked Courtney up, which I wasn't supposed to.
My bad.
No, not even your bad. She called me. She said, "Phil, you need a ride home."
Yes.
And I said, "I do?" She said, "Yeah, you need a ride home." So I kind of took that as she needs me to give her a ride home. But by the time we hung up the phone, Aaron was going to take her home. So, okay. And then she texted me. She said, "Pick up," was all it said. So
we requested her Uber.
when I was almost going to call you to be like, "Am I coming to get her?" Which I will. I just don't want to leave to go get her, and you're on the road taking her home.
Right.
So, anyways, pick her up and get home, and she goes upstairs. 10 minutes later, she sends me the text, "Snuggle." Okay, so I go upstairs, and I go to lay down, and we've had some issues recently with the mattress support. I don't understand how a bed so big could have such shitty and small support on the bottom. It's just 4 thin boards with shitty pegs holding the box springs for our mattress. And I thought I had fixed it last week. As soon as I laid down, boom, it goes again. I'm like, motherfucker. So, okay. She's like, do I have to get up? I said, yeah. You got to get up. So then I fixed the bed. I'm like, all right, we're good. I lay back down. I'm like, where the fuck is she? She's gone. I'm like, all right, maybe she went downstairs to get something to drink. Whatever. Like 10 minutes goes by. I'm like, is she laying on the floor? Because the lights are off. Like it was business time.
Right.
I get up. She's not in the bedroom. I go downstairs. She's not downstairs. She's not in the garage. She's not in any of the bathrooms. She fucking went into Jackson's room and fell asleep in Jackson's room. So
It went your night.
right. I'm like, motherfucker. Now I'm mad.
Well, he already knew that.
Yeah.
Get your hopes up.
Yeah. Well, from the last story.
Yeah.
But I'm like, all right, whatever, fuck it. I'm going to bed. So I'm laying in bed. And actually, I went downstairs first, watched an episode of Sopranos to kind of cool off. Went upstairs to lay down, and I plugged my phone in. And here comes Courtney, stumbling into the room, like walking right at me. I'm like, okay. She grabs my Pepsi. She slams it. She lays down. She goes, oh, no. Gets up, goes to the bathroom. Flushes the toilet first. I'm like, oh, she's got to puke. She lets out a couple dry heaves, and just comes, lays down, passes out. So that was...
Yes, Jessica. I said, how was Courtney? Because you texted that, and I didn't know that you had picked Courtney up. Because that's where I found out that Jessica wanted to walk home in the cold weather without ever texting or calling me. And then I'm like, oh, so... I was like, something must have happened on the ride home. But I asked her how Courtney was. She said, normal.
Yeah, she has a very definitive playtime to sleepy time. Like it's like that. When I picked you up and you're like, you better hurry up. She's ready to go. I'm like, by the time we get home, she's ready for sleep.
Yeah. Well, she fell asleep on the couch 5 minutes after we hung up. Just step back. The girls went out last night for tacos and drinks uptown, and I dropped them off at 6 o'clock. And we had a basketball game. I got home with the boys and sat down and was eating dinner because it was like 9 o'clock by the time we got home, 9:20. And Lindsay texted me. She's like, "We're ready," and I was like, "We're ready?" I mean, you have till 10.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, give me 15 minutes. They're like, we're at the bowling alley. And then they're like, no, we're going to walk over to P2, which is the gas station in town. This is what we call it. And I'm like, okay. And then she's like, no, we're still at the bowling alley. I was like, all right, I'll be there in 15 minutes. Well, I was there in like 5 minutes because we live right by downtown. I pull up. I'm like, I'm here. Lindsay's like, we just got drinks. I was like, all right, I'll wait, whatever. I'm watching a video on YouTube. 5 minutes later, I look up. Courtney's standing behind the glass door at the bowling alley. She's like looking at me, and I was like, "Oh God!" And she leaned back, threw her foot up, and like WWE style, kicked the door open. I swear to God, I thought it was gonna hit the wall and just shatter into 1,000 pieces. And then the door shut again. And she kicked it again, even harder. And I was like, oh, my God, we're going to have to buy a door. And then one by one, they all came out. And where are the buttons to open the doors? And as soon as I got in the car, Aaron, you need to tell Robert this. Aaron, you need to tell Phil this. And I'm like, oh, my God.
So what do you got to tell us?
This is the part of the podcast of Dad. If you haven't stopped listening, you probably should.
Oh, boy.
Robert needs to be told what to buy for his anniversary that's upcoming because his wife is convinced that he's not buying her anything.
After I told her yesterday that I was going to buy her something. It is a significant anniversary, 15 years. We bought each other a nice gift on our 5th anniversary, but we really haven't done much since. So tried to do something special this time around. Guess she'll believe it when she sees it.
Right.
It's so funny.
Or them.
Talking just to you two and then talking to those 3 idiots last night.
Well, it's nice that she can tell you what she wants, but she can't tell me anything. It's like
but
Christmas.
it's such
I
a
was beating my head against the wall.
It's such a I don't know what, like, I don't even know what the word is. Like, that's not what we're, we talked 3 days ago about what you were gonna, hey guys, what can I buy my wife? And she's like, he's not even thinking about it. I'm like, he is. Well, don't just trust the process.
Well, it was funny because the other night we were sitting in the family room, me, Jessica, and Aubrey was between us, and we were just kind of talking about things, and we started talking about anniversary, and she goes, "Are we buying gifts?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And she's looking at me funny, and I'm like, "Am I supposed to buy you a fucking expensive ring or something?" And Aubrey goes, "Dad, you're not supposed to say that." I'm like, "Give me a clue here."
Right, we are clueless people. Help us.
And I'm curious, like, whatever gave wives the impression that husbands know what the fuck they're thinking? Every guy I talk to about this kind of shit, they're like, I don't know.
We're automatically guilty, and all we want to do is make them happy.
Right. Just tell us.
I'm terrible with that. So I was thinking about our upcoming series that we're going to do in February. Little spoiler for those who are going to listen. We're going to get our wives in here one at a time and do like a mini dating game type of interview question with a couple. So the non-couple hosts will interview the others, if that makes any sense. And I'm thinking about like your situation with your gift. Like, we're all like that. I'm like that with everything. Example is Lindsay's boots for Christmas, right? She said, buy these boots. But she literally sent me a picture of the boots she wanted, but said, not these, darker. I said, okay. Well, I went and bought her. Obviously, yes, I got the wrong size because I bought men's. We got that straightened out. I bought her brown boots, and she's like, no, that's not what I wanted. She went out shopping and came back with the same damn boots she told me not to buy.
They were not the same boots, Aaron.
They were within the same palette at Lowe's.
I'm a shoe guy, and they were not the same.
Color-wise, they were the same to me.
Except for the sole.
Whatever.
But either way, just get what you want.
But just send me a SKU.
Send me the link.
Yes. Tell me which one you want. I think back to, like, one of the things I want to know from everybody is, like, engagement stories, because ours kind of sucks, but it's funny. But, like, with that, so I was going to buy her a ring, and I had this thing in my head, like, oh, she would like this style ring. And thank God I didn't buy it, because it was the completely wrong style of ring. That's been 20 years.
Yeah.
Just tell me what you want.
Pick out what you want. Get what you want.
Or like what I get you, and don't be an asshole about it.
Right.
If you're not going to tell me exactly what it is, then don't bitch when it's not exactly what you want.
Right.
One time I went away from specific instructions on what to get, and it was when I upgraded her wedding ring. She told me she wanted a single solitaire diamond, and I went with something different just because I didn't think that she thought I would get something like that, and I did, and it worked. She cried, so it was a good one. But
I think part of my struggle, and I think we touched on this when we talked Christmas gifts, and it might have been on the podcast, was like when you get a gift, was it, I want to say pretending like you like it.
Yeah, yes, we had this discussion. I asked you why you can't just put on face.
Right, and I can't. And I feel like because of that, I don't want to get her something not knowing she's going to love it. Because when I get something that I don't love,
it shows.
And I think that's what it is. I think it's like, well, I don't want to get her this if she's not going to love it. So why don't you just tell me exactly what
so
you
complicated.
want? I know. And
I'm just not used to getting gifts, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Getting or giving?
Getting. Okay. Lindsay's a terrible gift giver.
You made out on Christmas, bro.
Yeah, one time in 18 years.
Because of the podcast.
Yeah. Usually I joke around with her that I get her like something really fancy, and she's like, here's a DVD.
So what do you want for Valentine's Day?
What caliber?
She's not going to buy me a gun.
Whatever. Disappointed.
I don't. Valentine's.
Hit the fucking button. There you go.
Valentine's Day is different for me. I think when we normally do that, it's not gifts, it's a date night, and we have this thing that my dad does with my brother-in-law, myself, and the boys, where we make chocolate-covered candies for our wives and our mom and grandma and all the ladies in our lives. We do that one day, so they always kind of expect that. But
Courtney doesn't like chocolate. It makes Valentine's Day hard. But she loves chocolate-covered strawberries. But she hates chocolate.
it's weird.
So I got to be like the first asshole in line at Susan L's when they open the day before Thanksgiving, and then make sure that the boys are Valentine's Day, and then make sure that the boys don't tear into it by the time we get it to her.
Buy a pack for you and the boys and a pack for her.
That's what I do. £half for us and then a £half for her.
Yeah. So we don't do up Valentine's Day crazy. Birthdays are the same. Christmas, I always try and get her something big, but yeah, she did good this year.
Kind of the same thing. One of my focuses this year is to make days like that feel more special, because we've kind of forgotten about it. And, like we talked on the New Year's podcast, it's one of the things I'm going to try to make simple shit more important.
Yeah, and that's a good point too, because like this was the first year for our anniversary and for Christmas that we did do like decent gifts for each other, and it was kind of fun. She doesn't. Her birthday is right by Valentine's Day, so her birthday is the 24th of February.
When's your anniversary?
Our anniversary,
November?
It was November, yeah, 21st.
And yours is in March.
March 4th.
Okay.
Oh, so yeah, you guys.
I told her I want a gun, and she's like, I don't even know what to get you. And I don't know if it was Aubrey or Ethan said, just tell her to ask Phil. My rangefinder.
Yeah, she'll ask me for a rangefinder, some backpacks. She'll only ask me about guns. I'd give her a decent one to get you.
Yeah, anniversary stuff. I don't know. Our thing isn't always buying gifts. It's like going somewhere or doing something. That's typically what we do. But when we come up to 20 years, well, we'll hit 15 first. We'll do probably another big trip at 15, and either 15 or 20, we'll do some jewelry.
Well, it's weird with Corona. We've always planned on maybe renewing our vows on our 15th is something she's wanted to do. We may still end up doing something, but I think we're going to push that back to 20. We did schedule a little weekend getaway just to Indianapolis Airbnb that we found. We've actually thought about booking this particular place a few times and didn't. So just to get away, well, obviously we're going on a vacation shortly after that, but we'd always planned on like a kick-ass getaway for the two of us. And right now, without flying or doing anything else, and
it's
actually
tough.
Last year our three families are going on a vacation, and last year, that's right when Corona kicked in, so that got canceled or pushed back to this year.
Yeah.
And we couldn't get a refund or anything like that. We were lucky that we even got a credit. So, it's still a vacation, but now between vacation time and fundage and stuff like that, we aren't able to do the vacation that we've always hoped to do this year. So
Yeah, right through a wrench and things.
yeah, so we'll see how things go as things start opening back up. Maybe we will be able to do something. Obviously not on our anniversary, but we should, maybe do a getaway. But,
I feel like we've said that for the last 6 months.
What's that?
As soon as things start opening back up.
Just got to get your shot, man.
It's hard. I'm not one to fly places, so to me, going someplace, the reason we're not doing a bigger couples thing this year is because of the vacations we've already got planned. Our place to go is in North Carolina. We'll drive there. We got a house that we rented on our 10th anniversary, so that was 4 years ago, 3 years ago.
You better get this right.
2008, we were married. So, 2 years ago.
Quick math.
No, 2 or I don't freaking know. I don't know. To me, flying, I would do it, but like Robert said, we have the spring break trip, and then we have the baseball trip at 4th of July, and then after that, if football goes, by the time we get back and settled in from baseball, I know they're going to keep pushing tournaments all the way through the end of July. We're going to be right in a football mode if football's going. And
Football will go. There's already places that are saying that they're going to include contact sports in the spring.
I hope so. I
So
want to see these boys in pads hitting people finally.
yeah.
But then by that point, it'll be shit. We'll be talking deer season.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're throwing around the idea of trying to book something, a cruise or something in December, just because I'm off paid for a couple weeks for the holiday and kids are off school. So it's kind of a perfect time because really, I mean, you know, it's money too, but a lot of it's just vacation time. Just don't have enough time to do what the stuff that we like to do. So afraid to book anything in case it's not open.
That's the hard part.
There's some good deals though.
Yeah, like I bought the boys Dude Perfect tickets. So that's my third purchase with that initial $125 has now grown to $160 due to their refund policy because you get 110% back on your refund every time something gets canceled. So, but that's in what, like June.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think they're going to be doing that.
It's going to be hard. That's why we didn't buy them. The kids asked, and we're like, we're not buying tickets to anything until we absolutely know they're going to do these things.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And to me, it wasn't money they gave back. It was credit. So
When is Dude Perfect?
June?
I thought it was the end of June.
No, it is. It's the week before. It's the Thursday before we leave for Ocean City.
Okay.
So I think it's an actual full week before Ocean City.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah.
Where's that at?
It's supposed to be at
Rocket
It's
Rocket
gonna be
Mortgage Field House.
indoor.
Romo Fijo.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the reschedule. So, and they have a full tour schedule out.
Yeah, they do. They're going everywhere.
So I don't know. It's cool to hear like some of the
June 24th.
yeah. So then the week after that is Ocean City.
Yeah, because we would technically, if we do the vacation we want to do, we'll be in DC for my birthday, which is that Sunday.
But like you look at some of the there are 6 NBA teams that are allowing fans. The Cavs are one of them. With plans to have more allowing fans, seeing how this goes. One of the cool things the NBA did was they didn't put out their entire schedule at once. They only put out half of it to kind of assess.
See how it goes.
Yeah. There's one team that's been like kind of ransacked by COVID, and they've missed like their last 5 games. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with them. But, going forward, that's a positive. There are some MLB teams that are going to have fans.
That's what I want. I don't care about going to the Cavs games, but I want to go to an Indians game.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're going to suck. I just like going to the ballpark.
It'll be interesting to see if they make you mask up when you're in an outdoor environment, if you're socially distanced.
I won't be masked and be shoving dollar hot dogs and headhunters in my mouth.
I don't know. How do you run concessions now? You can't just leave out giant tubs of ketchup. And mustard and
No,
I don't know.
Not hot dogs. I need my Momocho nachos.
Is that the one that came in a helmet?
Yeah.
Those are
On
so
the-
good.
On the first baseline,
Yeah.
on the lower deck.
Yes.
Yep. Lindsay's like, why don't you just buy regular nachos? I'm like, because I'm an American, and this is what I want to go buy.
You know what we're talking about, Robert? Okay, so you know those ice creams you would get as a kid that were the mini batting helmets?
Yeah.
Okay, these are giant adult mini batting helmets. They're huge, and they fill them with nachos.
But not like your cheap nacho
No.
and nacho cheese.
Pork.
That's like,
Chicken.
Like loaded.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. And then the bottom just fills with cheese.
Well, I didn't question your decision. I had a feeling it was quality nachos.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
If anybody knows food, it's
Honestly, you'll buy things that are like, fuck, I paid $6 for this shitty hot dog. It's a $16 nacho. It's worth every fucking penny.
it is. It's very
so
good.
good.
All right.
I'm looking forward to getting back to that.
That's at the Corner Plaza is what they call it.
No, that's not where mine are at.
Yeah, first base.
It's not down to the corner though. It's in between.
Okay. Well, there's one right at the corner because right above it is the kid zone.
Yes.
So that's where we would take the boys because A, it's air conditioned. B, there's TVs all over the place and they have outdoor seating.
Right.
And they sell concessions there. So
if you can get out there, which shouldn't be a problem this year.
yeah, and it was a super perfect spot for fireworks.
Yeah.
And if there's any fireworks show that you have to go see, it's the Indians Rock and Blast. Well, I don't know if they're still the Indians this year.
Currently.
Cleveland baseball team.
Cleveland baseball.
CBT.
Whatever. But their fireworks shows are awesome.
I miss that more than
There's
anything.
there's 6 political bullshit topics that we just skated right over. I don't even want to talk about, but it's just funny. It's funny how much bullshit's going on right now.
So Robert needs to buy his wife some jewelry for her anniversary.
Yeah, so what did Courtney tell you to tell me?
To get on it more.
Ha! 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 Okay.
You guys just can't get on the same schedules, though.
Yeah, I guess. She... Whatever.
We were going to call this episode Hoops and Humps.
Dude, like 12 times on the way home yesterday, just in the car from here to my house. The bigger the hoop, the bigger the hole.
Yeah.
Size hoops you want, Jessica?
See, once again, that's something that you're leaving us to chance. Do you
want big
the small
J-Lo
ones?
hoops?
Do you want the small ones? I don't know.
You want little ones? Whatever.
We'll figure this out.
Yeah, it'd be so much easier if it was just, hey, this is what I would like.
Well, Courtney's thing is, hey, this is what she wants. Give it to her, man.
It's not, though. Because she'll go fucking fall asleep in our 10-year-old's bed with a dog.
I can't help that.
I'll talk.
Oh. And she'll say I'm all talk, and I'll say she's all toss.
It's funny because you both say that about each other, and I'm like, I can't figure out the middle of this story, why this isn't meshing.
1 + 1 doesn't equal 2?
Right.
Sitting here thinking about it, you know what I think's messed up about the gift thing is typically whatever she does tell me, I upgrade massively, and maybe that's what she's scared of. Like, I can't just say, okay, like, well, why, if you want these, then why don't we get these or those?
You think she's afraid of getting too big of diamonds?
I
from
don't
you?
know. No, again, we hardly ever give like jewelry.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. But either way, we'll have a discussion.
I was
We'll
sitting there
work this
last
out.
night. This is what I want to know is I want them to all go out one time and you guys pick them up because Lindsay's sitting over there and I'm like, I can only imagine the shit she would say if I wasn't sitting here.
Yeah, be like, well, why are you telling Aaron shit? He ain't buying you nothing.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like if I picked him up, Courtney would still say the shit about me.
I agree.
Yes. That's just...
So Friday night, we went out to dinner, just the two of us.
Heard about that too.
What's that?
Heard about that too.
What'd you hear about that?
That she wanted steak and you wanted Italian and you ended up going to an Italian place.
Okay,
I asked Phil last night. I'm like, so how was Angry Bull? He
That's
goes,
what I said too. I thought that too when you went to someplace in Westlake.
okay. It was Bay Village.
Okay.
Okay, she texted me and said, because we're talking about steakhouses to go to, so we're committed to steak. We're all in on steak dinners.
Yeah, so she posted on Facebook.
Right. So she texted me, are you sure you want steak, or would you rather go to an Italian restaurant?
It was a test, and you failed, bro.
Well, okay. So I read that as she doesn't want steak.
I would
she
agree that
wants
just,
Italian.
That's exactly what I would have thought.
And she just doesn't want to say it. She wants me to say it. Okay.
Agreed. Yeah, you hit that on the head.
And then she sends me a link to this restaurant in Bay Village that I'd never heard of. She said, check out the menu. It looks great. I said, it fucking does. Let's go.
We're gonna post the screenshot
So I'll
on the Catch and Help page.
Absolutely. I'll post that motherfucker. And then, so we get there, and I'm telling her how nice this is, and we need to make sure we do more stuff like this. And what did she think of the food and all that stuff? And she can't eat a lot anymore anyway. So she had a little bit of salad. We got stuffed peppers as an appetizer. So she had half a stuffed pepper, and then by the time she got her entree, she was full. Shared a little bit of it. When I said how is this, I was asking more like how's the experience, blah blah blah. And I said, well, we should pick, like, we could alternate who picks where we go. And I was like, well, you kind of picked this one. She's like, no, I wanted steak at the fucking restaurant. I'm like, are you kidding me? You pick? I didn't know this place existed. I was down for whatever.
You gave her the steak later.
So next time she's picking. God fucking damn it, that makes me mad.
I think it's
Yeah,
hilarious.
that's what I mean. It's so one side is this, the other side is this, and I'm standing in the middle. I'm like, I gotta find the truth somewhere. And,
well, the fucked up thing is that's her truth.
right.
So, like,
Why is even just going out to dinner so hard of a...
I don't know. The only reason I brought up dinner is because on the way back we got to talking about Courtney as a person, Courtney as a friend, and we kind of went through her history of friends, talking about how Jessica and Lindsay are like the longest lasting friends she's had in a long time, and like what is, we talked about trusting people, and I said, well, name the people you trust, and she named people. I said, okay, the common theme is you're spending time with them. Like, you don't trust anybody you don't spend time with. It could be family, it could be acquaintances. And then she's like, no, there's a couple people that we don't really see that I would trust. I'm like, yeah, that's because we used to see them. You got close, spent time with them, you trust them. So that's the only reason we brought it up. I brought up the going out to dinner Fridays because of that conversation, but I'm glad I brought it up. It turns out I fucking picked the wrong restaurant.
Way to go,
That
Phil.
was told to me. God damn.
35 Facebook comments later.
If you're going to mess up anything, might as well be dinner.
Yeah, it was a good dinner. Courtney tipped 100%. I'm like, wow. That's never like her. Usually she's yelling at me for how much I
She
tip.
was feeling generous till she got in the car to go home with you.
Well, yeah, and then
Rim shot.
oh my God, yes. Yes. That's funny. She told me about it. So the reason when we got home from dinner Friday, I was kind of pissed off.
She said,
Oh, she tell you why?
She said because she was talking to her girls at work
Yeah.
about how you were going out on a date.
Uh-huh.
And they were all like razzing her about like, oh, well, it's going on a date. You got to give it up.
Okay,
And
so that's like 75% correct.
then she said you got mad because they were talking about that at work.
No.
Okay.
Nope. So she did have. Okay, here we go again. They did have the conversation at work, but she told me, she made the comment of, yeah, we're going on a date tonight. That means I got to have sex tonight. And when she told me, I'm like, fuck that. That's
Yes. No. Yeah. Okay.
okay. Yeah.
I'm playing the telephone game here with this story. You're on the right track.
So yeah, I was pissed off about that. Cause no, it's not a job. The only time sex ever became a job was the first time she was pregnant and miserable. And she asked her midwife, like, what can I do to get this child out of me? And she was looking online like castor oil and all that shit. And the doctor's like, well, just have sex, Mm-hmm. Things that happen during sex make that easy. Make you, you can start having this baby sooner. So I'm like, all right, we got a job to do. And it was miserable because it was a job. But I don't want it to be like, nah, I'm cool. I'm good going without it for a night and being pissed off.
It's always Warzone and The Sopranos that calm you down.
Yeah. It's been Sopranos. I started it over this week. I just finished it again last week. You know what? I didn't finish. Full transparency. I didn't watch the last episode.
We're in season 5 right now.
Yeah.
Weekends throw everything off, though, because we don't get to watch.
Johnny take over yet?
It's in the middle of that transition with Tony B and all that.
Gotcha. Did you start, Robert?
No.
Fucker.
I know I have to.
So
I received a gift set for Christmas.
He's been busy with the basement.
Yeah, we took on a project.
That's what's throwing our weekend off. Last Friday. Was it last Friday we worked down there?
Yep.
So the past 2 Fridays I've been over there, so we haven't watched anything. Then Saturday, both these past weeks we've had late basketball games.
I can't explain the thought process or how everything came about, but after helping Ethan with his computer for Christmas, I decided I'm going to build one. She decided that I needed to have a place to play it in the basement, and that turned into finishing the basement,
A
kind of.
full remodel. That happened quick, bro.
Yeah, and I think I put my foot in my mouth on that one. I'm like, oh, we could do this and this and this. She's like, let's do it. I'm like,
Shit.
yeah. So we're finishing. I think it's going to be over 1,000 square feet by the time the bathroom's done. Leaving the walls, raw brick and painting them. But we're going to build some walls to make some partitions and separate things. Paint the ceiling black. But, yeah, been working in the basement a lot. Getting ready to, I don't even know, Aaron, as far as finishing that drywall, with how much drywall dust is down there just from cutting the outlets. It's like a powder bomb went off. And every time I go down to the basement and walk back up, you can see my feet prints through the house.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully I'll be sanding one night this week. I got to hang a couple final pieces of drywall and get some mud going, but it's going to be fun. On top of that, work just got real hot this week. I sold like 3 jobs. I probably got 120 hours worth of work to do.
Yeah.
In the next 4 to 6 weeks.
That's good.
So things are busy.
I got 1 more week off, and then I go back to work.
Yeah. Well, your wife will be happy about that.
Absolutely.
I think that's one thing that she would bring up.
Gets on my fucking nerves.
Yeah.
He's home all the time.
Yes.
It is, yeah.
That's one thing. Because I walked in the living room, and Courtney's got like this book text that she's reading. Like, who's that from? She said, nobody. Like, okay. I'm not playing that game. Who's that from? She's like, it doesn't matter. I was like, if it doesn't matter, just fucking tell me. She's like, it's Lindsay and Jessica, and this is what it is. I'm like, okay, I don't need to know what it's about. She's like, no, I'll fucking read it to you, and read it all. So, yeah, you need to go back to work, bro. I tell you what,
Well, I got a couple more days that I have to go in this week, but I'll be
Yeah.
officially back 5 days next Monday.
work has been kicking my ass lately, and it's just been more demanding. And I've gone at least once a week for the last like 3 weeks. And the days I go to work are the day, like, she's making me coffee in the morning. She's got my lunch packed for me. I'm like, holy shit, what's going on here? So she likes when I go to work.
I don't know. I was going to be a lazy piece of shit for the other 3 days at home this week.
I feel like she thinks I'm a lazy piece of shit for working from home.
Paying the bills.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
for sure. But
I'll get back to it. Whatever.
I've been pretty busy outside of work with, the basement, running the kids around, and then my own work and stuff. So Jessica probably wants me home more.
yeah.
But I like to see her get out of the house. I'm glad she went out. It's weird, like last night, she feels bad when she goes out. I mean, I enjoy my time alone with the kids, too, because she gets a lot more of that than I do. But she, feels, I don't know why. I can't. She's always felt bad going to do stuff. And it's like, get out more. It's good for you.
Yeah.
It's good for us.
Oh, yeah, you need that. Especially because you got kids that are older.
Especially if I'm gone all the time. When I come home, she's like waiting for me to come home. And then it's like,
Robert the Entertainer.
what do you want from me?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah. Get back to work. Get out of her hair a little bit. Let her clean. Not lay on the couch.
Don't sleep during the day when she's trying to clean.
It's probably the mornings that really bug her, that I'm laying in bed while she's up doing all her stuff. But
I think it was the afternoons.
that bugs her too. The problem is she says she's going to clean. She doesn't clean 5 days a week. I'm probably going to catch a lot of shit for this.
Though he's looking out the window at the house like
It's like we're live.
Yeah, so, but the days, I don't know. It's like she'll come home and sit on the couch or on the chair and play on her game, and I'm on the other couch playing on my game. We're not talking. I'm not like, how was your day? How was this? What was this? Like, I'll ask a couple questions, but so once she said that, now that she comes home and she sits on the couch, I'll go play on the computer. I'll go in the other room, shut the door. I'm like, I got work to do. I'll get out of here. If that was all it was, you could have told me that in December.
It's just out of her routine, probably.
Yeah.
It's just,
It is.
I'll tell you what, it's gonna be super weird getting back into old routines. You know, even like I was leaving Meyer yesterday, and as soon as I walked out the first double door, I took my mask off. And like some people are looking at me as I'm walking out of the second double door without a mask on, looking at me like I just fucking stole something. I'm like, God, one cool thing about this whole thing is you've been able to gain your personal space back. Like, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But like, everybody's so fucking nosy about how other people are handling this. We won't get into specifics, but are you brought up to speed on the juicy gossip, COVID related, about some people we know and sending their kids to school and all that? Were you brought up to speed on that?
No.
That's fucking stupid. And part of the reason why this shit just is getting worse, or not going away at least,
It's because people are sending their kids
adults,
to school.
they're
they know.
fucking idiots.
Yeah.
And they don't want to prevent. I don't want to say anything to get anybody in trouble. We'll talk
that
about
from
it.
the beginning, that parents will always send their kids to school sick rather than miss work or inconvenience themselves. Even when it came back to just checking the kid's temperature every day. Even when it's the flu or a cold or anything. So I mean, they're not going to do anything different with this.
If it's a matter of I can't miss work because I'll lose my job, I can hear that argument. If it's I don't want you to miss school because if you do, then we can't go out and do this fun extra activity, then you're a fucking asshole.
Even in the first one, you're kind of an asshole.
Right.
And I don't know. I get it. I wouldn't send the kids to school knowing they either tested positive or live with somebody that tested positive or even the symptoms.
Or close contact with somebody
Yeah.
until you knew.
And fortunately, I work for a company who's super supportive with what's going on with the pandemic right now. I know a lot of people who have taken advantage of them, and they know they're being taken advantage of, but their stance on it is I'd rather be taken advantage of by a couple shitty people than risk hundreds of innocent people with this. So we will put these precautions in place. Guys can take up to 2 weeks of time off paid and not get any occurrences for it,
Just by saying they were in contact or this
or
or
have
that.
symptoms.
Yeah.
I have a fever.
Yeah, my school's the same way. Or I say school, I work for the college, but unlimited sick days, doesn't matter how much time you need off. Now, granted, they're generous with their sick time, so most people have accumulated enough that you can kind of cover yourself. And for the guys who are newer or burned up their time for surgery or whatnot, they're trying to be more lenient, but they're not looking to get taken advantage of. So it's a pretty strict. It's hey, if one person gets it paid, then everybody's going to expect how many.
Yeah.
So they're trying to be fair, and they are.
Yeah. I don't know. There's no easy way to handle how you handle your own family during shit like this, and there's no easy way to handle how you handle your employees if you're running a business. I guess your hope is at the end of the day everybody stays safe and you can keep your doors open, but like like you said it before, you do you, I'm gonna do me, right? Don't question don't question the circle I keep, don't question the decisions I make for my kids. But I'm not gonna fucking send my kids to school.
It doesn't mean you have to agree with it. What you're saying, it's like that's shitty. That's shitty.
Yeah.
It tells you a lot.
It's part of the problem.
Tells you a lot.
So
Well, take advantage of your situation to compromise a team or a group of 30 people.
Yeah.
When you figure, I mean, if you broke down, look at some of the basketball teams that have got it, that there's 10 kids on a team, that's 10 families. It's 50 people that you've now compromised or taken out of the equation for 10 days.
Yeah, just in that small circle. Then you want to talk about, contact tracing.
Right.
Going to classes, at the schools. That's
I don't know the right or wrong
10,
answer
15
for any
kids
of it.
there, their families. If they got siblings that are in school, it's like, I don't know. You can say anybody's entitled to their own opinion on the virus, but the facts are it's caused some serious damage to the entire world, really, and it sucks.
Yeah, I'm just thankful for the job that I've got. We got money in the bank in case something bad happens that I don't have a job. Just is what it is if that comes across, but we're not owner of a small art house boutique studio that has to shut down because probably shouldn't have been open anyways because that's a weird thing to have. But that's neither here nor there.
Sometimes people are staying open to keep food on the table.
You asked the girls about going out last night. They said some of those places were packed.
Well, that's where one of the podcasts I listened to is basically saying that the government's trying to, they're putting these businesses out of business. And if that's your only source of income, if you're a small restaurant and you're being told to close, he said, fuck you, stay open. He said, take your fines, take whatever, they just, it's not, the laws are unjust for what they're doing to some of these people.
Well, because there's also, it's just like we've said before, there's so much contradiction in everything. It's like you said, Phil, you take your mask off half a second, 2 steps early before you walk out of Myra and you look like an asshole. But if you do it on the front where the sidewalk meets the asphalt, no big deal.
Well, now according to our new president, I have to keep my mask on until I get my vehicle.
Whatever. When there's nobody around.
Yeah, well, yeah, and so
even if there was anybody, you're not next to me.
I'm not anti. I got my mask right here. I'm not anti-mask guy.
Right.
Okay. I am. I'm taking a common sense approach.
Right.
The one mask requirement situation that drives me crazy is restaurants. So I need to wear a mask when I walk in. I need to wear a mask when I'm walking to my table. The second I go to sit down, I can take it off. Mm-hmm. Why?
So you're not going to cough or breathe or sneeze on other people's tables that you're walking past. I agree. I'm in the middle. I can see how it might help, but it kind of feels pointless. Your waiter wears it when she's walking around you, but there's still so much interaction and touching, and the spaces are still pretty small. And I don't know. I think you should be able to do whatever you're comfortable with. If you're scared, stay home.
I've only been uncomfortable once.
New Year's.
Twice.
I've had a couple.
I've been twice.
I've had a couple.
I probably would have left if we didn't know the people right next to us.
Yeah.
I was ready to leave. I even said something and I didn't see anybody else's reaction. Well,
it was right when we first got there.
Well, yeah. Well, part of it was I didn't anticipate waiting. I thought we paid and we were ready to go. So I think we got started a little late.
We waited on one guy to finish his games.
And the kids were having fun at home because part of it was to pass time. But I felt like the night was going pretty smooth anyways, and we were already enjoying ourselves.
Yeah.
Where it wasn't going to be like, man, how are we going to kill a couple hours?
Yeah.
So it seemed like, well, things were going good. Let's just go back.
We went. I feel like the only reason we went is because we arranged it ahead of time with Lindsay, and she had worked there already. And
you made a commitment.
Yeah.
You don't want to screw somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there was other people on the other side of us that we didn't know, I'd have been real uncomfortable.
Yeah. Because when you said
But even then, we're not.
Just because you know somebody doesn't mean they don't got it.
Right. And they're not in our daily circle. They're in our circle for part of the year because of football, but I don't know. We're just trusting that they're adults and have good judgment.
Which is so risky nowadays anyway.
Right. The only
without a virus.
That was the I think we all felt uncomfortable there. And then the
kids didn't.
They didn't.
So innocent.
Kids need
to
not worry about this shit.
And my last one was last weekend at that MLK 3-on-3 tournament at Hoop Tech.
Busy.
Yeah.
Was insane. Hoop Tech we play in 2 leagues for Ben, and his Saturday league is at Hoop Tech. And they check temperatures every time you come in, and they don't let you in 5 minutes before the game. So the team can go in 10 minutes before the game. They have an area they can get ready at, parents and everything, 5 minutes before the game. Like, okay, well, this tournament there was none of that. You walked in the door. You got your temperature checked, and then you were in. And there were, I don't know, hundreds of people in this place. And everything was disorganized. I was like trying to stay away from people was hard. And yeah, by the time we left out of there 6 hours later, because everything was delayed, I got home and I was like, I just got to take a shower. Like, I just feel gross.
And you know what? It's like we were last week before the Browns game. We were watching. Me and Jace were watching the 2019 NFL playoff games highlights, whatever. And like you just look at all the people packed in the stands. I miss that. I miss that for sports. You know, it's
how it's changed in 12 months.
I don't know how you go back to that.
I don't even know how they're going to try to. I don't feel like they're ever going to let us stop wearing masks, even because of the flu or anything else. I feel like this is forever.
I don't think it is. I don't think that mask mandates are going to be forever. If we could get our shit together and get it under control, then it would relieve it. But I think it's going to be more common. So, you know, like before all this, you would see it in Asia.
A lot, yeah.
Tourists, yeah.
And, you know, whatever. I think that's because you could never do that in America. 3 years ago, you'd be like, well, this fucking idiot wearing a mask.
I mean, that's what I felt like. That's what I felt. I felt like I was in an apocalypse movie.
Right.
But yeah, you're right.
We'll get to a point where we get back.
But like, even look at what it's done for like flu numbers are way down.
Well, it's because the flu doesn't exist anymore.
What?
It's everything's coronavirus. That's the only thing you die from.
Oh, that's true.
No heart disease.
No suicide.
That's half the reason why people, including myself, I mean, I know it's real, but I don't trust that there's an agenda.
Yeah. But like, okay. So I think I agree. But like, what's the point of the agenda? What is the point? What does it matter to some greasy old man sitting in Washington, D.C. to have me wear a mask? Is it bigger than him?
How do you count one person who tested 5 times as 5 positive corona cases? How do you rule a death of someone who died in a car accident but had coronavirus? How is that a coronavirus death?
It's good for the automaker.
But like, I've said this all along. I've said this for years. I've always been skeptical of what I see on TV. Like, how do you know that that happened? Because you read it, saw it?
Yeah, I guess.
You saw it from one angle.
How do you know things are happening on the news?
Right.
Because a camera crew told you to? Look at the movies we watch.
Yeah, I don't trust any of it.
I don't trust any of it, but I'm also not tinfoil cap dive deep on forums on the internet.
Sure.
Because at some point there's truth behind something. Not everybody is involved in the conspiracy. Our government and our human nature is not. There's a rat somewhere in it.
I don't know, but they've kind of destroyed the middle class. All these big companies and corporations. We talked about it. It's okay to go to, since day one, it's been okay to go to Walmart, but not okay to go to your local
Ace Hardware or whatever. Local hardware.
I mean, it's really made the huge corporations like Amazon, and it's everything. They've gotten bigger and richer, and all these local business owners are all going out of business. You got a lot more people that have lost their jobs and are still going to lose their jobs. I mean, and not to say that somebody did that on purpose, but it's destroyed.
It's a messed up way of living.
And again, we're lucky. It hasn't affected the 3 of our families directly, but it's created an income gap.
So like, but what's the point of doing that? Like, I'm never gonna say something's not possible. The way I look at it is like, what is there to gain from something like this? Like, is Bezos really that powerful?
And why? What's the point?
Is Bill Gates that powerful?
Well, and it's affected the whole world, not just the United States. I feel like it's going to put us behind a little bit, but it makes you wonder other stuff too. I mean, I feel this was man-made. I think they've admitted that it was man-made or whatever at some point, but
I mean, like cooked up in a Wuhan lab,
like a bioweapon. And it, was there is a test or was it an accident? But just to see how fast something could wipe out if it was something different.
To me, that's like John Kennedy assassination. We're never going to know the answer to that. They don't want you to know the answer to that.
Was it Bill Gates? They have on video like 8 years ago saying if there's anything that's going to, take over the world or take over the United States, it would be a virus. And
there's a lot of weird.
He's the guy with the leading.
Yeah, but
vaccine.
you can find coincidence in a lot of things, and you also you talk about trusting things. It's hard to trust things that you see anymore because of these deep fake. Rogan said it for years. If they wanted to make him say something that he never said, that he's got 1 million hours of audio, they could piece it together and make him say whatever he wants.
That's true.
You can overlay something on a Trump speech or a Biden speech on the words that they've said and be like, see, here it is. And all of a sudden it just gets shared around Twitter, Facebook, blah, blah, and it's blown up. And you're like, that's not it at all. And even if it was, it's context.
Yeah.
What happened before that? What happened?
Context went out the window 2016.
Context has been gone long before that, but definitely there, yes.
That's something. As soon as people shifted their mode of communication from verbal to text, context is gone.
Oh, absolutely. Because I can send you a text message and you think I'm pissed at you.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
You send me the word sure, I think you're saying fuck you.
Right.
Have a nice day.
Yeah. Unless I have...
Go fuck yourself, too.
It's hard to read emotion on text.
Mm-hmm.
And we live in a society where we'll say all sorts of nasty shit on the internet, but if that person was sitting in front of you, you didn't dare say that to them. Most people.
Keyboard warriors.
Yeah. I don't know what the solution is. I don't know what...
I don't
the
think
problem wasn't
knows.
To me, the problem wasn't Trump. It started long before him.
I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I don't just believe shit I read. I mean, I'm just going to go along with the virus blindly. I mean, it doesn't add up the way some things have been handled.
And we're trying to trust a government that's bloated and inflated to handle a situation that they're not meant to handle. It's all sorts of messed up. I don't know. Stock market's up. Jobs are getting lost. Healthy for now.
Yep.
That's it.
Keep going on with what we've got to do. I don't know.
It's easy to take a look at like your world that you live in, and let that be your litmus test for what's going on. And like around here, it seems
pretty
calm. People seem calm, normal.
That's my whole thing with all this craziness that's going on in the world. It's like, yes, you could let that fill your day, but why?
Yeah.
When you're going to go to bed angry or distraught or upset because of something that's happening in Washington, D.C. or something that's happened in Portland, and I'm not saying like all the injustices that are in the world that are now in front of us because we see them on the internet that we wouldn't have seen before. 20 years ago, you would have never seen the guy getting drug out of the car, shot by the cops. We just wouldn't have. You see it now, it's an injustice, yes. But like Ryan said last week, we're working in the communities that we work in with the vision and the lens that we see our lives through. I can work to change and correct what's in my circle. We don't have time to go out to Portland and riot with whoever or whatever.
What a fucking mess that town is. But you're right. You're right. You can only change the people you can actually impact.
And make sure my kids don't look at through an open lens and aren't closed off to, oh, this person over here is a bad person because of the color of their skin or what they're wearing or whatever, Judge a person by their character, not by their actions.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough world to grow up in. I'm really glad that we don't have. We're not trying to have kids now. I'm glad my kids are older.
I'm scared to see what the world looks like when they have kids.
Yeah, a little bit, but you also have to be willing to that it's going to change. Everything changes.
Yeah. It's just this country is still so young when you look at the rest of the world.
It is, but nobody can be in power forever.
Well, that's the scary thing.
Something's got to change at some point.
You know.
Everything has fallen. It's just what the next fall brings the next power is the question. Which I get. That's tough, but I don't know. There are way smarter people out there who have way more time on their hands to think about this stuff than me. I want to think about what we're doing here.
There's way more smart, evil people out there, too.
Yes, there are. And what am I going to change on it?
Nothing. Do the best you can. Live your life.
And we went down a rabbit hole there.
Sure did. I'm depressed now.
Robert, get your wife some earrings and they'll go get on it. I'll go to work.
Well, I'll make everybody happy.
Yeah.
Good luck. Are we the plan? Are we going through with the plan with the bringing the wives on then?
Yeah.
It seems like everybody's on board with that.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't decided who.
Made it official today.
Okay, well they're coming on. I think at least two of the three were cool with it. I don't know.
Who are the two?
I've mentioned it to Jessica and Lindsay, and I figured Courtney would be on board.
Yeah, she's
too.
on board.
So
Well, I mentioned it to her, so whatever.
So we'll have to come up with something. I know Lindsay doesn't want to get too deep on certain topics, but I'm not planning on getting deep. I'm planning on having fun with it.
Just make it fun.
Funny stories. So that'll be our February series coming up.
Yeah.
Figure out who does what when.
March. Yeah, I mean, we're going to start planning out to March. We're going to squeeze in Tommy.
Yep.
That's just going to be a fun one. And that's a topic that's not going to be for everybody. You know, volunteering for youth sports isn't necessarily for everybody, especially if you look at the demographics of our audience. I think I saw it just on Chartable has us at like 85% of our listeners are males and 70% of that are the 35 to 44 age group.
Tommy fit right into that.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we were supposed to go on a rabbit hunt yesterday too.
Yeah. Too bad you can call him an outfitter, I guess.
Our rabbit hunting guide is in Kansas City today.
And his brother's playing for the Chiefs.
Yeah. So, rabbit season goes to the end of February.
Yeah. How much longer is deer season? Like 2 weeks?
February 2nd.
I'm not getting out again.
I'm not either. I'd like to.
That's okay.
Not enough time.
It's cold, man.
It's really.
You say, like, whatever, let's just go. Dude, 20 degrees is cold.
Yeah.
I'm not in a hurry to go sit out in the woods right now.
I'm kind of over.
Yeah.
For the moment, I get into that. Yeah, it's past. Let's think about what's going to go on in the spring. And, yeah, Tommy coming up. We got maybe rabbit hunting. If not, we still might get him in.
Yeah.
And then by that time, maybe March, we'll be talking fishing and golfing and
shooting.
And
I do want to have a couple golf buddies on. And now that we'll zoom them in.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some cool topics we can get into.
Definitely.
We've been on some awesome trips. Some it doesn't happen to everybody type trips. Like where the PGA was just at that right now is, so they're in La Quinta, California in Palm Springs. And their property, the course they're playing on, right across the street is the property we played on. So you can see the clubhouse from there. Whenever they do the overview, you can see it. It's, if God was a golfer, that's where he's playing. It is the most incredible golf course I've ever stepped foot on. There's 2 courses on that property. You need to live in the gated community to be a member there. You can't buy a house for less than $4 million. Phil Knight, CEO of Nike, is a member there. Jim Edmonds, played for the Cardinals. He's a member there. So I guess his wife is on Real Housewives of some stupid city. And they go there all the time. So Courtney will yell at me, Phil, they're at Hideaway Golf Club. It's seriously the greatest golf course facility on the planet. I've been there twice. First time was in 2015. Second time was in 2018. And that was an experience that was completely paid for by Callaway Golf. They paid for my flight, the private car to pick me up from the airport to the hotel, all my food, all my travel.
Big baller Phil over here.
All clubs and like brand new set of clubs, top to bottom, clothes, the whole deal, dude. Literally, like better than pros get treatment. Got to go through that twice. So one of the guys I went through that with the second time, we'll get him on. And he's a big 2A guy too.
Definitely.
So want to get him on.
Just make sure you keep liking, sharing, downloading, spreading the word, because we're growing little bit by little bit every week.
We should be over 1,000 soon. 1,000 downloads. That's quick, man. So I did see in the Buzzsprout forum or on the Facebook page, their podcast is the same name as the girl at the inauguration, that poet.
Yeah. I saw somebody posted like
1,500 downloads in one day.
Yeah.
They were
Just
averaging like
that makes me want to figure out like how to name our episodes and name them so that people look for that.
The Joe Catchin' Hell Rogan podcast experience.
Yeah, something. Just to get us higher on the list.
That's okay. We were kind of flat when the last charts came out. So when the first initial chart was cool, second chart that came out, big jumps all across. This last update, we're kind of flat still. So gotta just keep growing.
Yeah, we gotta find our voice still. I think even 10 episodes in, we've kind of been all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
From funny stuff to serious stuff to what kind of guests we're gonna have, hunting, fishing. I don't know. I like that you said the metrics were guys in their 30s, because that's what we are, and that's kind of what we're aiming to. So
yeah,
I'm not trying to capture an audience that my kids want to listen to.
right.
But yeah, keep liking, sharing, downloading with all your friends, family. We appreciate it. We gotta finally, hopefully tomorrow, we'll post the giveaway.
Yeah,
we've been waiting for shirts. We got Catchin' Hell shirts.
Got our shirts in.
So we'll get that out as well. You get that Collision Bend and Steel City beer with it. So thanks everybody for listening. I guess we're done, right?
We're done. Until next time.
All right.
Later.
See ya.